AI companies are becoming extremely desperate. They're pouring billions of dollars into AI stuff and just magically hoping they will end up with AGI. Even this guy, Richard Sutton, who's regarded to be the father of reinforcement learning, thinks that LLMs are a dead end. He believes that because current methods rely less on learning from experience and more on scraping ungodly amounts of data and feeding it into these systems, they're not going to lead to an actual intelligence that matches, let alone surpasses a human intelligence.
The scalable method is you learn from experience. You try things, you see what works. No one has to tell you. First of all, you have a goal. So without a goal, there's no sense of right or wrong or better or worse. So large language models are trying to get by without having a goal or a sense of better or worse. That's just, it's exactly starting in the wrong place.
And I agree with him. The current usefulness of these large language models does not justify the amount of resources they burn, but then you have people like Sam Altman saying crap like the following.
One of the things that is always unfair in this comparison is people talk about how much energy it takes to train an AI model relative to how much it costs a human to do one inference query. But it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life and all of the food you eat during that time before you get smart. And not only that, it took like the very widespread evolution of the 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learned how to like figure out science and whatever to produce you, and then you took whatever you took. So the fair comparison is if you ask ChatGPT a question, how much energy does it take once its model is trained to answer that question versus a human? And probably AI has already caught up on an energy efficiency basis measured that way.
To me and to most people, this specific string of words coming out of a billionaire's mouth is not surprising. Even less surprising coming from a guy who sells AI. We all know about the story of the gold rush. The guys that were making the money were the ones selling the shovels. And what AI companies are selling are overglorified shovels. But a shovel on its own is not dangerous, while even the smartest models make unforgivable mistakes in production environments. I talk about a few incidents in this video on the top right if you want to check it out. The most prominent is the one where a Claude 4.6 agent deletes a company's production database in 9 seconds just because it encountered a trivial issue. It is my observation that these things tend to skip the intelligence ladder and appear to be intelligent only because the majority of their use cases are either too specific or too general. Here's a prompt that illustrates the difference between intelligence and statistical regurgitation. You tell an LLM that you received 2 GPUs for free. One of them costs 20% more than the other but has only 2% better performance. Which one should I put into my PC? Sometimes the LLM completely ignores the fact that you got them both for free, so it reasons as if you're deciding which one to buy, and so it advises you to pick the cheaper one. Would a human with basic human level intelligence fail such a question? No, but money needs to be made. According to an article by Axios, companies spend more on AI than employees now, with the vice president of applied learning in NVIDIA saying that the cost of compute is far beyond the costs of employees at the company. Uber's chief technology officer already blew through his full 2026 AI budget due to token costs. Think about that. The full 2026 AI budget completely gobbled up by tokens in less than half the year it was allocated for. Some people like this guy even brag about an Anthropic bill that is $113,000. They are a 4-person team. How that is sustainable in the long term is beyond me, given the fact that Anthropic are continually increasing their prices. According to Gartner, worldwide IT spending is expected to reach $6.31 trillion in 2026, an increase by 13.5% from 2025. And a huge part of that is AI spending on data centers and tokens. The world made a huge bet on AI and it turned out to not be worth it. But it doesn't matter. AI companies will continue building more data centers. If you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. I try to upload videos daily and your support matters a lot. See you next time.
Let's say you have a software engineer or AI researcher and you pay them $500,000 a year. We do that all the time. That $500,000 engineer at the end of the year, I'm going to ask them, how much did you spend in tokens? And that person said $5,000. I will go ape something else.
Yes.
Right. If that $500,000 engineer did not consume at least $250,000 worth of tokens, I am going to be deeply alarmed.